Good evening, virtuous ones. Professor Carey, born in London, raised there in New York and the continent, studied at Harrow, Cambridge, has written many books, plays, has taught at a number of American universities, and is now professor of English at Brooklyn College. That's one kind of introduction. We've heard that kind of lot. Behind that introduction stands one of the most interesting people I've ever had the good fortune to meet. A man who I got to know from reading a novel of his called Richard's Feet, which was one of a series, perhaps of 4 novels, perhaps more, dealing with some of the same characters, some of the same situations, but in no sense a series. Not a palace of series, not a trollop kind of thing, but a taking on different parts of a world that was quite interesting. A world that begins back in the old places, in the old days, and carries forward. Carey Harrison has done everything, I suppose, would be the simplest way of saying it. From slow bowling and county cricket to covert operations for the African National Congress, back in the days when they were struggling successfully against the apartheid regime in South Africa, where he played very dangerous games, even more dangerous than cricket, I think. Carey has been everywhere, has spoken in many places and in many tongues, speaks many, many languages. He's written many novels and over 200 plays, he tells me, or they tell me, some of which you've seen on PBS Masterpiece Theatre presentations. But none of that kind of external material tells you about this extraordinary man whose father was a world-famous actor, whose mother was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen on the screen, who grew up to do all kinds of things, everything from raising goats, which he didn't want me to mention, to writing operas, which is even more scandalous in this day and age than goats. A man whose grandfather was a prisoner at Auschwitz and was released right at the end of the war when the Russians were champing down the Eastern Line defenses. The Germans let the poor Jews go, quote, go, and said, go. Lecha, I guess is what they said, like a good Abrahamic command. And his grandfather was among the Jews who were sent out to walk in winter from Auschwitz in Poland to Budapest in Hungary. And Carey was the kind of man who has a quality that used to be called pietas, not piety at all, but a sense of responsibility to who one is and from whom one comes, the people who are behind one. So one day, just after I met him, he decided he would spend one winter walking barefoot, not so to speak, not barefoot, but on foot, from Budapest to Auschwitz to return the favor. Georg Lukács talks about the short story as about an episode or an event. The novella as about a person's life and development, perhaps. The novel is not about people at all, but about the world in which they operate. Let's welcome Carey Harrison and the world he opens to us with his latest novel.